A face in the crowd at London's King's Cross station. These are the last known images of Andrew Gosden on the day he disappeared in 2007. For his family, the years that followed have done little to ease the pain.
You kind of feel like, well, I've lost almost everything, and every single day feels like a battle. It is a daily struggle for me every morning just to feel like I want to be alive.
The disappearance of Andrew Gosden remains one of the most baffling missing person cases in modern Britain. What makes it so unsettling is that nothing appeared wrong in the lead up to the day he vanished. There were no warnings, no family conflict, and no clear reason for a 14-year-old boy to walk away from his life. On a quiet September morning in 2007, Andrew left his home and never returned. Andrew lived with his family in Doncaster, a calm town in northern England. He was described as a shy, intelligent teenager with exceptional academic ability. At Macaulay Catholic High School, teachers often spoke highly of him, noting his strong performance, especially in mathematics and science. He had even attended a summer program for gifted students at Lancaster University the previous year, highlighting his academic promise. At home, Andrew was quiet and reserved. He spent much of his time reading, playing video games, and listening to music. He was particularly fond of bands like Muse and Slipknot. Despite his introverted nature, his family consistently described him as content and stable, with no signs of distress or any indication that he might run away. He lived with his parents, Kevin and Glenys Gosden, along with his older sister. By all accounts, their household was normal and supportive. Nothing in their daily life suggested that Andrew was planning to disappear. The day he vanished began like any other school morning. It was Friday, 14 September, 2007. Andrew got up and prepared for school as usual. His parents left for work early, and his sister also headed out before him. Andrew was expected to follow shortly afterward. Instead, he made a decision that would change everything. After his family had left the house, Andrew returned home instead of going to school. A neighbor's CCTV later confirmed footage of him re-entering the property. Once inside, he changed out of his school uniform and put on casual clothing, including a black t-shirt and jeans. He also packed a small shoulder bag. Inside that bag, he placed only a few items: his wallet, his house keys, and a charger for his PlayStation Portable. Strangely, he left the actual PSP console behind in his room. Investigators later pointed out how unusual this was, since Andrew was known to be a keen gamer who rarely went anywhere without it. Shortly after, Andrew withdrew £200 from his bank account at a nearby ATM. This was nearly all the money he had saved. He then made his way toward Doncaster railway station. Andrew arrived at the station and went to the ticket counter. He requested a one-way ticket to London. Staff later recalled offering him a return ticket, which cost only slightly more, but Andrew declined. He insisted on buying a single ticket. That small decision became one of the most puzzling details in the entire case. It raised questions about whether he intended to stay away permanently or had planned something uncertain in London. After purchasing the ticket, Andrew boarded the train. The journey to London took roughly 2 hours. CCTV footage confirmed his arrival at King's Cross station at around 11:20 a.m. He stepped out calmly, appearing relaxed and unhurried. Dressed in a black Slipknot t-shirt and carrying his small bag, he walked out into the busy station. This would be the last confirmed sighting of him. Once Andrew left King's Cross, he vanished into one of the most heavily monitored cities in the world. Despite London's extensive surveillance network, no clear footage ever tracked his movements after that point. The investigation began shortly after his parents reported him missing that evening. At first, they assumed he had simply stayed out after school, but soon discovered he had not attended school at all. By the time police began reviewing CCTV evidence, several crucial hours had already passed. Once investigators realized Andrew had traveled to London, the case became significantly more complex. They searched through vast amounts of CCTV footage from around King's Cross and nearby areas, hoping to trace his route through the city. Unfortunately, no confirmed sightings emerged. Over time, multiple theories were explored. One possibility was that Andrew had gone to London for a specific event. Around that time, several concerts and gatherings were taking place. A band he liked, 30 Seconds to Mars, had a concert scheduled in the city that weekend. However, there was no evidence that Andrew attended or even approached the venue. Others suggested he may have visited cultural or educational sites. Given his interest in science and learning, places like the Science Museum or the Natural History Museum were considered possible destinations. Yet again, no sightings confirmed this.
Andrew Gosden is an intelligent 14-year-old and he disappeared 2 weeks ago. He hasn't been seen since. Every day his mother is out searching for him, putting up posters and hoping for sightings. He's one of 30,000 people who are reported missing in London every year, as Tom Edwards reports.
Could you have seen this boy in this area? Do you come here regularly? Is it possible you've seen this boy? Could you possibly have seen this boy at all in this vicinity?
In the crowds around South Kensington, a mother is looking for her son. She's been searching for 10 days.
It really has been quite devastating because it's such a shock and we just haven't got a blueprint for how to handle this kind of situation, really. Sometimes putting in 15-hour days, just walking, chatting to general public, staff in the museums or any places where I know he's likely to have been that he enjoys coming to.
Andrew Gosden is from Doncaster and 14 years old. He loves museums and visited the capital regularly. A gifted student, he withdrew £200 from his savings account and was last seen on CCTV boarding a train to the capital. It's estimated that 30,000 people a year are reported missing in the capital. The vast majority of them are under the age of 18.
Sadly, cases involving missing minors sometimes involve exploitation by strangers. This possibility could not be ruled out. Years later, in 2021, the investigation saw a sudden development. 2 men were arrested in London on suspicion of kidnapping and human trafficking in connection with the case. This gave Andrew's family renewed hope that answers might finally emerge. However, after questioning, both individuals were released. Authorities did not confirm any direct link to Andrew's disappearance, and the case once again returned to uncertainty. Throughout the years, Andrew's family has continued searching for answers. His father, Kevin Gosden, has spoken publicly about the emotional weight of not knowing what happened to his son. For families in this situation, the absence of answers often becomes more painful than certainty itself. Organizations such as Missing People have helped keep Andrew's case in the public eye. Posters, media coverage, and awareness campaigns have been used in hopes that someone might remember seeing him in London that day. Those affected often describe life after a disappearance as split into 2 parts, one where daily life continues, and another where time feels frozen at the moment. Everything changed. The uncertainty never fully fades, and it remains present in everyday life. In the very beginning, there is no immediate panic. There is only confusion, followed by attempts to explain the situation logically, checking with friends, retracing steps, and searching familiar places. But gradually, the realization sets in that something is truly wrong.
Well, it's obviously had a profound impact, as I'm sure all the families in our position would say. And it's probably easiest to try and explain it is that your life seems to be split. And it's like it's on 2 layers, that at one level you're functioning and continuing with day-to-day activities, but on another level part of you is stuck and just can't move on, and it's almost like having 2 separate parts of you, almost a bit like oil and water, and you're sort of keeping them separate somehow. But the sadness is always there and somehow permeates even into your everyday.
I mean, the very first moment, I think you just realise, well, they're not in the house, and you don't panic at that point. You start trying the logical alternatives, is he to friends or whatever.
Today, Andrew Gosden's disappearance remains one of the most mysterious missing person cases in the United Kingdom. What makes it particularly haunting is how ordinary the day seemed at the start. No conflict, no farewell, no warning. Just a normal morning that ended with a train journey and complete silence afterward. If Andrew is still alive today, he would now be in his 30s. His family continues to hope that answers will eventually surface, whether through new evidence, advances in technology, or someone finally deciding to speak out. Until that happens, the case of Andrew Gosden remains unresolved. The story of a bright 14-year-old boy who left a train station in London and was never seen again.